What if a retired archbishop publicly declared that the Vatican's latest excommunications are invalid? What if he claimed that the real problem is not the Society of St. Pius X, but leaders inside the Vatican itself? That is exactly what Archbishop Jan Pawel Lenga has done. The 76-year-old archbishop, known for surviving communist persecution in Kazakhstan and for his past criticism of Pope Francis, has issued a strong statement after the Vatican's recent actions against the Society of St. Pius X, or SSPX. The controversy began after the SSPX consecrated 4 new bishops on July 1st without a papal mandate. In response, the Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith, led by Cardinal Victor Manuel Fernandez, declared excommunications affecting the newly consecrated bishops and issued measures directed toward SSPX clergy and supporters. But Archbishop Lenga strongly rejected those actions. He said the decree only proves, in his view, how far the Vatican has moved away from Christ and from the Catholic faith. Lenga pointed to the consecration ceremony itself. He described it as peaceful, joyful, prayerful, and solemn. According to him, the atmosphere among the faithful was filled with devotion and reverence. He contrasted that with what he called the chaos of the post-conciliar church. The archbishop said the SSPX had spent years trying to maintain contact with Rome. However, he claimed those efforts were unsuccessful. He argued that key positions in the Vatican are now occupied by people who have been influenced by worldly ideas and who, in his opinion, are damaging the church from within. Using strong language, he described some leaders as wolves among the flock. He said they appeal to canon law while, in his view, failing to protect the salvation of souls. Lenga went even further. He claimed that many cardinals and bishops are themselves in schism. He argued that they, rather than the SSPX, should face excommunication. The archbishop also highlighted what he sees as signs of life within the society. He pointed to active prayer, young families, and the construction of new churches. According to him, the SSPX does not want separation from the See of Peter. Instead, he claimed that church leaders have separated themselves from the mission entrusted to St. Peter. Lenga specifically criticized Pope Leo XIV, referring to him by his former name, Robert Prevost. He said the Pope's approval of the excommunications proves, in his opinion, that he no longer represents the church that leads souls to salvation. The archbishop praised SSPX founder Archbishop Marcel Lefebvre. He said Lefebvre recognized dangers entering the church decades ago and acted to preserve Catholic tradition. Lenga also criticized the Novice Ordo Mass and other post-conciliar changes, arguing that they moved the church away from its original path. Despite the excommunications, he insisted that they are void before God and Christ. He said they mean nothing to those who remain faithful to Jesus. In his final message, Archbishop Lenga encouraged SSPX priests, bishops, and faithful to remain firm. He urged them to hold fast to apostolic teaching, stay loyal to Christ, love the Blessed Virgin Mary, and persevere through suffering. His closing message was simple: remain faithful to Christ, endure to the end, and trust that God will bless those who continue to witness to the faith.